Hello, YouTube. Um, so I got a bit of a problem. Zombies, because that's common. Um, but if there's anything that this movie has taught me, is that even when the zombie apocalypse is right outside your door, that is no reason at all, to stop doing what you ordinarily do, even if there's a bit of a interference. So, let's see if this movie can help me in this situation at all. This is Shaun of the Dead. Okay, so before I start this review and talking about the story and characters, I do want to acknowledge that if you are a younger audience and you're just like seeing this movie, you heard about it and stuff, and you want to get like a general idea of what's going on with a review or something, and you're like not in your teens, or if you are in your teens and you're like not into gore, sexy windows, drugging windows, tons of cussing, do not watch this. Like, those are all throughout this movie. So if you're not, like, if those aren't for you, or your parents are saying that you can't watch those stuff yet, wait, wait for a bit. Now I am just a 14-year-old, but I've seen Terminator and Moscow on the Hudson. Those both have sex scenes in them, and like, I was okay, I guess, with it. So, um, I have seen a lot of mature content in my day, so I'm just acknowledging that this is like the very first movie that I'm reviewing that's like this. It's like all this heavy on this stuff, so I'm just pointing that out. If you're younger, or if you're not into this sort of stuff, do not watch this. It is not for you. Or at least not until you're a bit older and you can get used to this stuff. So with that said, let's go on to the story. So the movie is about a guy named Shaun who lives an average life, pretty normal, and has a really understanding girlfriend. Really, he takes her to the same pub, the Winchester, all the time, like every time they date. And yet she only now thinks, no, maybe this is getting annoying, and finally decides to break up with him. Taken her a long time, apparently, and that just makes me wonder how many times they go to this freaking pub. But anyway, she decides to break up with him, so Shaun's best friend Ed decides to take him to the only place to help him feel better, the pub. But even though he kind of half tries to get him to feel better, he's still not do. He still hasn't gone over her. But with the help of alcohol, he seems to have forgotten about her that night. So, trying to get over getting drunk that night, they just sort of sleep in. Woo! We slept in. But this morning is going to be a bit different now because there are zombies. Where did they come from? I have no idea. What caused them? I don't know. They're just there. Just out of the blue. Zombies. It happens, I guess. I mean, there is an article that's only shown for like 3 seconds that does say that there is some sort of virus that's being spread, but they don't really say that it causes the dead to come back to life or causes people to turn into zombies. So it's never really quite explained as to how it happens. Though there is one time, although at the end they do have this one TV broadcast that does say
the zombie apocalypse was caused by, and then they changed the channel because nobody wants to know what it was caused by. I would want to know. I mean, they survived the zombie apocalypse. I would want to know how that happened. But I guess they don't care. And so once they find out that there are zombies, in which takes them quite some time to find out, really, it takes them like a good 5 minutes or something to finally realize, no, there are zombies walking around. I mean, while he's going through the street, there are tons of signs. He just doesn't notice them. And when they finally do find out, it's by a mistake. They just see a zombie in their backyard and then just assume that she's drunk. Which, yeah, I guess I wouldn't want to just jump to conclusions saying, yeah, she's a zombie, let's kill her, but really? It seems pretty apparent, but it does become pretty obvious that there are zombies when they push her onto what I think is an umbrella stand? I don't know. It seems like a pretty deadly umbrella stand, though. They should really put that in their shed that they have. But anyway, now knowing that there are zombies, they just go inside their house and watch TV because it'll pass. Just zombies. Things will change when. We'll just get over it. So, but when one of them comes inside their house, they have to fight him off. Where they discover that the only way to kill them is by removing the head or destroying the brain. So they decide, well, we took one down, I guess we should take out the two in the backyard. So they kill these two zombies in the backyard and then try to think of a plan. Their first plan being, okay, so first they'll go and get Shaun's mom, Barbara, and kill her husband, which is Shaun's stepdad, Philip, because he's been bit, and then drive over to Shaun's girlfriend Liz's house, pick her up, and just sort of stay at her place. Ed doesn't like this idea because really no freaking reason. I mean, it's a 2-story house. Come on. I don't think that the zombies can climb up it. Unless it's World War Z where they pile themselves on top. But I don't really think that they can get up there. So, I don't know. It looks like a 2-story house that's made out of brick that doesn't seem to have that many windows and for the most part are pretty small. It seems like a pretty good place, but Ed doesn't like it because he can't smoke and drink there? So then they change their plan slightly and decide, okay, we'll drive them back to our house. Wait, no, we can't do that because zombies broke down our window, and even though we have this little table right here that we could just easily use to board up that broken window, we can't do that because some reason. So they decide, okay, let's go to the Winchester. So they go there in their other flatmate, Pete's car. He has also been turned to a zombie. I know you're just so curious as to what happened to Pete, but yeah, he's dead. So they take his car, they go execute their plans, but they had to bring Philip along. And bringing him along means that he's gonna turn to a zombie, and they've taken his car, which for some odd reason he has the child locks on. I guess safety, I don't know. And they never decide to take these off, so instead of just opening up that door and then pushing him out, seeing as he's right at the door, no, they decide to all run out of the car, locking him in the car with their weapons, leaving them completely exposed and unarmed. Genius idea! So now they gotta go walk to the Winchester. They bump into some friends. They decide not to team up with them because priorities, I guess. and they just leave, finally making it to the Winchester. Now, from here on out, I can't talk about it because pretty much this is where the movie goes and sort of loses its comedy edge, but it is more based on plot, and it is actually a really good part. It's pretty much an entirely different movie from here on out, but I still can't talk about it because if I do, then I'll be giving away some major spoilers. So, if you haven't seen it yet, what are you waiting for? Go watch it! Although, just remember my parental guidance thing earlier. So, this movie, what really makes it good is their use of humor. Now, there are many ways that they use humor in this movie. For one, they can just use it by bringing jokes back. Like earlier on in the movie, Shaun is sort of helping out Ed with this video game that he's playing, sort of telling him where his enemies are and stuff. And then later on in the movie, all the things that he gave pointers to Ed for all come back when Shaun is actually starting to kill zombies, and Ed is actually saying all those lines again. That scene is made much funnier when you actually take that into account. Although some people really do miss it. And there are some jokes that do come back that are really hidden. Like, you just think of them as common little lines that some character might say, like when Pete tells Ed to go live in a shed, at the end of the movie, guess what's happening? Ed's living inside a shed. Most people miss that the first time they watch this. But another great thing about their form of directing here that I can take into account with the humor is Edgar Wright's directing. Oh my gosh. He does great with this. Most everything that Edgar Wright directs always has its own style to it, trying to make mediocre things seem much more action-packed and interesting. Really, if you haven't seen any of Edgar Wright's work, pause me, open up a new tab, go onto YouTube, go look up just anything from Edgar Wright. Just go look up Edgar Wright's directing and editing. Just see that, look up a clip from either Hot Fuzz, The World's End, or Shaun of the Dead. You will find something in that directing that you like. Trust me on that. The directing is really cool. He seems to know how to make things really interesting while not much is going on. And that's definitely taken into account here. Like, there's one scene in the movie where it looks like Shaun is about to kill his stepdad, Philip, because, well, he didn't fit, so he's gonna turn into a zombie. So he's holding this knife. They start reflecting some light off of it. He's looking at the knife, and you think that he's about ready to go over there and kill him. Then in the next shot, you just see them all walking out together. What happened in between those cuts, we will have no idea. It's just how the humor works. Oh, and a scene previous to that, this is really hidden in there. You actually do hear a car, crashing into something, and then when they come out, there's a crash car. That's pretty, that's pretty cleverly woven in. So most of the humor does come from how well they can incorporate it with what they're doing. Most of the time, the humor is hidden, but there are some parts that are pretty obvious. But the humor is definitely the great part of this movie. It does have so much humor, there's so much of it that's fun and really enjoyable, but it depends on something. For one, how many times you've seen it. Me, I've seen it quite a few times, and after a while, like most movies, after you see them after a long time, and you see them pretty repeatedly, like if you watch it one day, then you come back the next day and watch it again, and you do that for like a few days, then because you like the movie so much, then it can start to be really boring. So you should probably wait for a bit after you see this movie to watch it again. Although there are some people that find it boring the first time around. Like my friend Shayla and Jane, they couldn't get into this movie, and my dad couldn't either. But it does still have some pretty good use of humor here, and they do use that very well in incorporating the story. Oh, and for the story itself, well, not that original. I mean, it's definitely been done before with things like Zombieland, Scouts, Scouts Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, and the new movie Cooties, which, if you haven't heard of that one, look it up. It's Elijah Wood fighting zombies. It looks interesting. So, yeah, this idea isn't anything new, but it is kind of just the way they did it that makes it interesting. So, for the story, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. They use everything that they can to their advantage with this movie, and I really do like that. Sure, some of the jokes do fall flat, and it's definitely not for everyone, but there is a lot of fun that can be found in the story. Although the characters do play a big role in that, so let's take a look at them. Okay, so for the characters, let's start off with my favorite and the main one, Shaun, who well, not a bad character. There's not really much to him. He's more just like the everyman in this movie, I guess you could say. Um, he does take more of a leadership role when the zombie apocalypse thing comes, and he does get a lot more stressed out about the situation because there were zombies. Who wouldn't be stressed out during that? Aside from Ed, for some reason. But he does take it kind of seriously, but there are also moments where he doesn't take it seriously at all, and that doesn't seem like something that you would do in a zombie apocalypse. I know it's supposed to be the joke of the movie sort of thing, like he doesn't take the zombie apocalypse that seriously, but it just doesn't seem right for some reason. I don't know why, it just doesn't settle with me. Although, to be fair, I would probably be more like him in the movie. I'd probably be more like him if I were in a zombie apocalypse. Except a whole lot more stressed out, because I'm very easy to be stressed, and I would basically like be 3 times more stressed out than he is in this movie. So, yeah. And then there's also Ed, who I keep on talking about in this review. Now, Ed is a special brand of idiocy. I mean, he's not a bad character, and he is pretty likable, but God, is he stupid. Like, oh yeah, who needs to go to a 2-story building that has that safety? And I've never been to, so I don't know if it could be that. So if I don't know if I can be allowed to drink and smoke in it, which apparently is my only concern for some zombie apocalypse. But no, let's go to an easily breakable pub, a pub. And for some reason, Shaun goes along with it. Yeah, that's another thing about Shaun. He's very easy to be persuaded. Like, hey, let's go to Winchester. Okay. Easy. But, well, Ed is pretty stupid in this scenario. Can't say that. I can't say that I didn't like him at all. He is kind of likable in his own way, but he's still pretty freaking stupid. No, and also, if it weren't for him, pretty much all the people that die in the climax probably would have survived. Sure, you can make the argument that, well, the military came to Winchester, but the military were coming there anyway. Wouldn't they still search for survivors? They could just find them and save them. I mean, come on. And then after Ed, there's Liz, who, well, again, is a pretty supportive girlfriend. There's not too much outside of that for her. She doesn't have that much of a defined character. They never really develop her or anything. she's just kind of there. I mean, sure, she can be pretty reasonable at times, but she's just kind of there. That's it. And yeah, she does fight back more than Diane or Barbara, but still, she doesn't really do anything. And then that brings us to Diane, who is a failed actress. That's it. That's her amazing character. She's a failed actress. That's all we know about her. Moving on. Yeah, really. Nothing else about her. Just failed actress. That's it. That's all you need. Oh, and she likes David. Totally explains her character. Moving on. So, after Diane, we have David, who I gotta admit I kind of side with. I mean, sure, he does take things a bit too far, especially near his death scene, but I do think that he was much more reasonable than all the other characters in the movie. I mean, there's a zombie apocalypse outside, and you guys go to a pub instead of a two-story house. I'm sorry, I'm still on this. Two-story house. Why didn't they stay there? Come on, 2 stories. I don't think that the zombies can climb. But yeah, I'm with him on that part. I don't really think they should have left, and he does have a point with the shooting scene. Again, not spoiling here. Really not spoiling. I really do not want to spoil anything, because that just makes the movie all the better. So, I'm not going to try and spoil things, but in that shooting scene, he does come off as kind of unreasonable, but I don't really see the big complaint here. I mean, yeah, he was going a bit too far, but if you look at the scene, he was being the only one who was actually using their senses. One of them had just been turned into a zombie, well, just been bit and died. Not gonna say which though. And when they come back, they're about ready to come back, so he's basically saying, no, we gotta kill him now, because they're not gonna come back. They're gonna come back, they're gonna be trying to kill us, we gotta kill him now. But, yeah, he is kind of a twat about it. And then after him, we have, crap, I forgot his name. Okay, we have Philip, who, is really a stereotype. He's just sort of the grumpy guy, I guess you could say. Yeah, there's not much of a character with him aside from that, though. They do add in some more depth to him later when he's about ready to die. Yeah, I know that might be spoiling, but I kind of already did that with him. So, but right when he's about to die, he's telling Shaun, "Oh yeah, I always want, I came into your family. You were already 12. I just wanted you to have someone to look up to, follow in the footsteps of. And I thought that guy could be me." Here's my question: why was he acting like a jerk to him then? If he wanted him to have someone to look up to, why be a jerk? Why just be a jerk around him? That doesn't make any sense. Did he want him to be a jerk? I don't know. I guess so. It doesn't really add up, but yeah. And also another bad thing with his development here, it doesn't go too far because he dies right after. Maybe if they have to, maybe they had to kill him or something, and that would be a harder choice because of this development they just gave him. But they don't. They don't even kill him. They just leave him in the car. So nothing happened to him. just, yeah, that went nowhere. So it feels like they completely wasted an opportunity with that character. And then we have Barbara, who is the biggest idiot in this movie. I know I said that Ed was pretty stupid, but good God, she is. But good God, Barbara, get a brain cell. I'm sorry. You seem she she is a very nice, optimistic person. I will give her that, but get a brain cell. I'm sorry. You really can't tell if there are zombies everywhere. Really? Even even when they come up and bite you, you don't even seem to care or even notice that there are zombies everywhere. You don't seem to have any concern about this, but for some odd reason, you just don't even notice. You have no idea what's going on. You don't know about these zombies. Somehow, even when they come up and bite you right on the wrist. I'm sorry about that. It's just, she's really stupid. And then after her, we have Pete, who I think Ed said best by just calling him a prick. That's pretty much all he is. And when he dies, you don't feel bad for him. So, there's one more awesome, important character left. That random guy from Shaun's job, who Shaun was having a conversation with. You thought that he would come back later, but never does. He's totally not important. There's no reason I'm talking about him right now. He's that useless. Really, what were they trying to do with him? It seemed like they were going to do something with this guy, and then the studio came in and said, no, we don't have any time to do anything with him. We gotta get this movie out, so then they decided to come out or something. I don't know. But he seemed like he was gonna go somewhere and goes nowhere. So, for the characters, I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. They're not bad, but some of them don't really get all the development they need, and there are some missed opportunities here, like with Diane, Philip, and Pete, or Barbara. Really, freaking Barbara. Get a brain cell! But, yeah, they don't really do anything with these characters. I mean, they do stuff with the main ones, but all in all, most of the characters don't really get any development, and when they do, it's just kind of like, oh, hey, we learned that. Cool, I guess? So, yeah, so, I gotta say, I really do enjoy this movie. Well, it's definitely not for everyone, which it didn't really go over so well with my mom, my dad, and two of my friends. It is really for a pretty big group of people. And it was a good opener to the Cornell trilogy, which if you haven't seen, go watch it. If you're in the appropriate age range, go check it out. It's Shaun of the Dead, that's the first one, then Hot Fuzz, then The World's End. I have seen all three, and I love them. And I do plan on doing reviews of them in the future, but like maybe in a year I'll take a look at The World's End, and then another year I'll take a look at Hot Fuzz. But I really do love these movies. They have their own unique style to it. The story is really good. The characters is, well, sometimes they don't get the best development, are still pretty likable, and you don't want to see die, which adds more impact when they do. And it's a pretty fun movie. If you're in the mood for a pretty good zombie parody this October, definitely go check this one out. It's a pretty good one while still remaining a zombie movie. But alas, it hasn't really helped out with my little zombie problem out there. So maybe the next movie can help out a bit more. The next one being Paranorman. Oh, and just so you know, dogs can look up. Bye.